here we go. You're gonna learn a new skill. It's gonna be fun. So a magic circle is this. You're gonna go around as if you were going to do a slip stitch, but you're not, or a slip knot, but you're not gonna do it. You're gonna pull this up, and instead of, normally you would just pull this whole thing together and make it a slip knot, but instead you're going to hold it right here. And the goal is we are going to, so we're gonna slip stitch, we're gonna make a chain right there just to kind of secure it. We're gonna make our single crochets in this circle. So instead of trying to make it into one chain, we're gonna go around this circle and we're gonna do 6 of them. So just 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now here's where the magic part comes in. Made your 6 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we're going to pull this little tail and it's gonna bring it all together in a circle. Just like that. And then to complete the circle, all you're gonna do is you're gonna skip, this is the chain 1, you're gonna skip that. Make sure I do that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because you want 6 stitches at around the outside. Because we're going to go for 12 at the beginning. It feels weird to skip that first one. Sometimes if you're going to mess up, it will be there. You will end up going into that and then you'll end up with 1 extra stitch and you'll be like, how did I do that? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what we want to start off with. So now what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 to go up. And move this guy out of the way. Chain 1 to go up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet. We're going to do 2 single crochets in every single stitch around. When you're working in the round, your first row is the setup row. The second row, you're going to multiply it by 2. So you're just doing 2. The third row is you're essentially multiplying the first row by 3. So you'll do 2 and 1. 1 in the next one, 2 and 1, 1 in the next one. And it just kind of continues onward. This is a big deal when you start making hats and things that are closed at the top. So, but for right now, we're just going to do 2 all the way around. So 1, 2, 1, 2. So, not counting this chain right here, you should have 12 stitches all the way around. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then this one that puts it together makes it 12. And what you're going to do is you're just going to go back into the original single crochet, not the chain, but the single crochet, go through there and slip stitch it like that. And that's how you join, and you have a perfect circle, okay? But for us, we are going to change color. Are we changing color? Yes, we are. So we're going to go back. And you, just like before, whenever you change color, at the end of a stitch is when you pull that new color in. Here's our new color for our first petal. Pull that through and pull it up through there. Now you can trim these. We're going to trim them. So if they're in your way, you can trim them. But just for speed, I always, especially if you're making a bunch of them, I just leave them there and I trim them at the end. So what we're going to do now is we're going to chain up 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we're going to triple crochet. Now this is something that we haven't done before, but it's very much like a double crochet. A lot of times you'll see it called a treble crochet. I call it triple just because, you know, single, double, triple makes more sense to me. But you'll see it written as treble all the time. So instead of wrapping once like you would for a double crochet, you're going to wrap twice. We're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. So she wants you to start in the 4th chain from the hook, and you're going to triple crochet into that. So just like double crochet, go through 2. You guys get to see all my notifications. Go through 2, and then it's like that would be the end of a double crochet, but for us, we're going to go to triple, so we're going to go through the last 2, just like that. So then the next one, we're going to do it again. 1, 2, into the next stitch, right? This is just a chain, just like you do in a regular chain. Pull that through, and you're gonna go 1, 2, 3. Now, this is when our petals, see that at the beginning of our petal forming? It's gonna start to get skinnier. So we're gonna go down in increments exactly what the how do you do that? Like what the staircase is. So the next shorter chain, or the next shorter stitch, is going to be a double crochet. So triple, triple, double. 1, 2, and then the next one's going to be a half double, right? Because it's a little bit shorter. And half double, if you remember, you just go through all of them. And then a single right there. And then you're going to slip stitch into the next stitch to secure it. Just like that. And then this little guy, if you wanted to, if you're getting to the point where you feel like you're pretty good at weaving in your ends as you go, go ahead. I didn't want to add to the trouble. Like, I don't want to confuse new people, but if you're like, I could totally have weaved my ends in as I was, yes, you can. But just for this to make it easier, I'm just going to weave my ends in at the end so I don't confuse people. So there you go. There is your first petal. Now we're going to make 12 of those petals all the way around. You know what? I don't think I'm going to go all the way to the end because I don't need to make another daisy. I just realized I've got all my daisies done. So I'm going to actually take this apart. But I did want to show you what it looks like as you're going around. And when you get all the way to the end, you are actually going to, your final one, you're actually going to do your chain up right here, your 8 chain, and then you're going to make your petal. And when you slip stitch it, you're going to slip stitch it into there. So if you don't, you're going to have like this gap right here. So make sure that it feels weird because you're going to go over the top of what you've already done, but it'll all work out, I promise. And then after you're at the end and you slip stitch, you can just pull it all the way through if you want, or you can make a knot if you feel like you need to secure just by doing another chain. I like to just do it without. And then you just pull it through, cut your ends, and weave it in. And then that will be that when you're done. What I did to modify this to make it smaller for this little guy, besides using a smaller hook. So I went down to this little guy, and he is an F hook. So this is an H, G, F, yeah, so I just went down 2. So that was the difference there. So that's what makes it a little bit smaller. But also, instead of doing 2 rows in the middle, I only did 1. And I didn't just do 6, I did 9. Because I tried to do 6 and it turned out like that. And it just wasn't full enough for me. So I did 9 in the magic circle, pulled it all together, didn't do a second row. I went straight into doing the petals. And then on the petals, to make them smaller, instead of chaining 8, I chained 7. And then I came around, I did 1 triple crochet in the 4th chain from the top. And then I didn't do the second triple. I went right into the double, half double, and single. And so that's what made that smaller. So if you want to make different sizes, you can. And it'll be really fun. You can actually do them even tinier if you want to. So, or bigger if you prefer bigger too. So anyway, here we go. That's the daisy.